When a job is completed, Wallace Company summarizes the cost and completes the lower portion of the applicable job cost sheet. For example, if we assume that Wallace completes job number 101, a batch of electronic sensors, on January 31st, the job cost sheet indicates the total cost of $39,000 and a unit cost of $39. The unit cost was obtained by taking the total cost and dividing it by the quantity, in this instance 1,000 units. When a job is finished, Wallace Company makes an entry to transfer its total cost to the finished goods inventory. The entry is as follows: debit finished goods inventory for $39,000 and credit work in process inventory for the same amount. This entry increases finished goods inventory and reduces work in process inventory by $39,000. Like work in process inventory, finished goods inventory is also a control account. Companies recognize cost of goods sold when a sale occurs. To illustrate, let's assume that on January 31st, Wallace Company sells on account job number 101. The job cost $39,000 and it's sold for $50,000. The entry to record the sale and recognize cost of goods sold are debit accounts receivable for $50,000 and credit sales revenue for $50,000. It must also debit cost of goods sold and finished goods for $39,000. These entries recognize the revenue that was earned, as well as increase the cost of goods sold and reduced finished goods inventory by the cost of the product, or job number 101. This slide does a great job of showing you a completed flowchart for a job order cost accounting system. The cost flows in this diagram can be categorized as one of four types: accumulation, assignment to jobs, completed jobs, and when the goods are sold. The company first accumulates cost by purchasing raw materials, incurring labor cost, and incurring manufacturing overhead. Once the company has incurred manufacturing cost, it must assign them to specific jobs. As jobs are completed, the company transfers the cost of the completed jobs out of the work in process inventory into the finished goods inventory. As specific items are sold, the company transfers their cost out of finished goods inventory into cost of goods sold. This slide summarizes the flow of documents in a job order cost system. The job cost sheet summarizes the cost of jobs completed and not completed at the end of the accounting period. Jobs completed are transferred to the finished goods to await sales. Jobs that are not completed remain in the work in process inventory account. The solution to these journal entries will be included in the next video. Job order costing is more precise in the assignment of cost to projects than process costing. For example, assume that a construction company builds 10 custom homes a year for a total cost of $2 million. One way to determine the cost of the homes is to divide the total construction cost incurred during the year by the number of homes produced during the year. In this instance, we'd have an average cost of $200,000 per home. If the homes are nearly identical, then this approach is adequate for purposes of determining profit per home. But if the homes vary in terms of size, style, and material types, using the average cost of $200,000 to determine profit per home is inappropriate. Instead, they should use a job order cost system to determine the specific cost incurred to build each home and the amount of profit made on each home. Job order costing provides more useful information for determining the profitability of particular projects and for estimating cost when preparing bids on future jobs. However, job order costing requires a significant amount of data entry, and recording this information is time-consuming. Job order costing is also used by service companies. The techniques of job order costing are useful in many service industry environments. These companies also need to keep track of the cost of jobs performed for specific customers to evaluate the profitability of each job. Many service organizations bill their customers using cost-plus contracts. This is a great exercise that summarizes everything we have discussed so far in this chapter. Begin by preparing the journal entries for 1, 2, and 3. Then post these amounts to the work in process inventory as well as to each job cost sheet. Once you have completed posting the cost to each job cost sheet, you can obtain the cost of job 429 and prepare the necessary journal entry to transfer the cost from the work in process inventory to the finished goods inventory. The solutions to this problem will be provided in the next video.